6 months ago, I attempted to beat Jedi Survivor using only the Force. However, I gave up. Because in that video, I concluded the only real way you could damage enemies was by using Force Push and Force Pull. And that only works on regular enemies. It doesn't work on the bosses. And at that point, am I really beating the main story, or am I just fighting the enemies you found throughout the world? So like I said, I gave up and I just turned the video into a compilation of me being a sadistic bastard. However, a few days ago, I received a comment from someone on that video explaining to me that you can actually damage the bosses using force powers, but it's not any of the force powers that you are actually explicitly shown, because there are actually secret force powers in the skill trees for some of the lightsaber stances. The comment told me about a hidden force power in the skill tree for the double bladed stance, and I tested it and it does in fact deal damage to bosses and also enemies. It's basically a force shockwave ability, and it's not very explicitly shown, but there is actually a force shockwave ability. It is just locked behind the double blade stance. And that got me thinking, and I did a little bit more of a look into the other stances, and I found that the cross guard stance has the same ability, except this one does more damage, but the downside is it's more concentrated, whereas the other one damages all the enemies around you. This one only damages the enemies in front of you. But there's a lot more damage than this measly tiny damage, and at that point I realised it is definitely going to be possible to beat the game using only the Force, except for maybe the Sage Under section, with those two added Force powers, which I'm not going to lie, I don't really know what specific Force abilities they are. Right, I'm just going to call the double bladed one a terrible Force shockwave, and then the cross guard one a very concentrated, focused Force blast. I personally think Cal is just pushing into the ground and causing the dirt to rubble. That somehow works on. I don't know. Look, whatever I say, it uses the Force. It's gotta be a Force ability. It works. It's fucking Force ability. I don't know why I'm sitting there trying to. Anyway, I booted up Jedi Survivor and I started a new Journey Plus, and I got immediately told I need to delete a save file. Yeah, it turns out there is actually a maximum limit of save files. I don't know if anyone else has ever had this problem, because let's face it, you only need 2 save files for Jedi Survivor. But anyway, I deleted this new save file and I started the run, and let's just say, you know how before I mentioned that I basically only ever did Force Push and Force Pull in the last video? Well, in this video I kind of just basically only ever did the Cross Guard's Force. I just used the Cross Guard's Force ability for pretty much most of the bosses, okay? And I won't lie, I had a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, I did use the other Force powers. I mean, I did use Confuse for a grand total of all the time on Coruscant. I forget, right? You get shown Confuse and then you forget about it afterwards. I just how it is. Mind Trick, it's a great ability, but Cal obviously sucks at it because it's really useless. I mean, oh wow, I am now confused. I'm going to smack this enemy. I am no longer confused. Well done. Congratulations. Oh, you're such a great ability. No, I'd rather just yeet them off a cliff, or, personal favourite, grab them, walk over to the cliff and drop them. That's much better. There is one downside of using these stances, and that is the block meter. You kind of have to do it right before they are about to land their attack on you. That way you go through the block meter and attack them, which sometimes leads to you dealing damage to them and them dealing damage to you. But eventually you get used to the timings with bosses, and then with other enemies, remember there's also Force Pull and Force Push and Confuse. Anyway, I'm gonna be honest, this was actually rather easy, mostly because I'm kind of used to fighting these enemies. I did have the warrior perk on, so the enemies were harder, but ultimately fighting the enemies not that difficult. There's a lot of force powers you can actually use to fight enemies, and bosses, well, the Ninth Sister first tried it, Dagan Gera first tried his first boss, Ravis first tried him, well actually no, before that is Dagan Gera 2, first tried him, then Ravis first tried him, then Dagan Gera first tried him, which was actually a surprise. I thought I was dead. I was like this close to dying with him. And then I believe the next boss after that is Bode, is that little Bode fight. That's when I first died, but you are supposed to die in that one, and I died because I didn't have BD1, and also because Bode is an absolute I don't want to be big-headed and be like, oh look, I first tried all these bosses. No. The reason is, you got so much health and 12 stim canisters, and this is like my 6th iteration of doing these bosses, and I was on Jedi Knight, okay? You know, it's not too difficult. But obviously, there is one section of the game that I was absolutely dreading getting to, and that is the Sage Under section of the game, because obviously I didn't know whether or not Sage Under would have a Force Shockwave ability. I mean, I could fight all the enemies using Force Pull and Force Push and Confuse. Can she do Confuse? I don't know if she can do Confuse. I don't think she can do it. Anyway, turns out there is. You should see my face. I didn't record camera because I can't record camera. It's too laggy with Jedi Survivor. But my face lit up the second I realized, oh my god, she's got a Shockwave ability, because You know what this means? This means it's possible to beat Darth Vader using only the Force. Yeah, well, I didn't, because while that Force Shockwave ability is a thing on Seagunda, its damage output is so small. In fact, it took me about 10 minutes to get this much damage done on Darth Vader, and this is only his first phase. Look, it's probably doable, and I probably can do it with Seagunda, but it'd probably take me about a month of tries to actually get that done, and I don't have that time. So sorry, I did cheat and use the lightsaber against Darth Vader, but only Darth Vader. The rest of the game I did beat using only the Force. Now there is something I would like to mention. I haven't really mentioned Force Slam and Force Lift that much in this video because you only get them towards the end of the game, and they're basically just vertical push and pull, and they're not really that good. However, when you get Force Rage ability, I decided to start off by using the Force Lift ability because I've never actually really used it, so I thought, you know, why don't I use it now when I'm using in Rage mode? And it killed everyone! It can kill so many people! Legit, that entire section was so easy because I just did Force Lift and Force Slam and pretty much all the enemies. It's overpowered. I had no idea. And the pull is overpowered. I mean, these droids you can't do anything against, which was really annoying. But these, oh my god, this is amazing. And lastly, there is the Bode boss fight. I died multiple times to Bode because he's really hard. He is the hardest. His last boss in the game, he's obviously going to be really hard. A lot of it was me just keep hitting his block and not actually hitting him and running out of stims and also missing. But as soon as I realized, oh yeah, there's an aim system, and I turned the aim system on, it became a lot easier because you don't actually miss, because a lot of them were misses. And I eventually managed to beat Bode, though it did take a little bit compared to all the other bosses in the game. And because of that, I have now beaten the game using only the Force. I mean, apart from Darth Vader, I have done it 6 months later, and I've actually managed to beat a challenge I failed before. Technically failed again. But anyway, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see more on Jedi Survivor, please let me know. I've got other challenges that need doing. Comment down below, it helps. Like, subscribe. I am so close to 500 subscribers. Please get me to 500 subscribers. I mean, you don't have to, but please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in whatever video you decide to watch next. That's mine. Bye!